What's up, guys? It's your boys Awoki back with another Chris Watts video, and with the continuation of these different interviews that you guys have wanted, we're gonna be taking a look at Amanda Thayer's interview where she is not with her husband, where they were on that park bench and having a kind of an interview with the news broadcasters. This is actually with Agent John Hause. So we're going to be looking into this interview. Before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that white bro icon down the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you guys so very much for that continued love and support. Hopefully one day we will hit that 100K goal. Also, make sure you guys go over to Footsteps of Murder. Go give them some love by putting this together for us to learn and also educate ourselves on this case and everything when it comes to that case of the Chris Watts case. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Interview of Amanda Thayer by FBI agent John L. Hause. Amanda Thayer, hereafter referred to as Amanda, was contacted at her residence. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, Amanda provided the following information. Amanda is a child care director at the Goddard School, Thornton, Colorado. She has a bachelor's degree in human development and family studies. Amanda met Shanann Watts, hereafter referred to as Shanann, in a
There was actually some YouTube channels that were blaming the Thayers, that were saying that they were helping Chris Watts. And I'm like, what are these people on? But they were literally, they let Chris stay at their house, not the night before, or not the night after the murders, but the following night. And they were flabbergasted when they found out that Chris had committed these murders. But I'm just like, these people are trying to find anybody that they can and make them into a suspect, when the Thayers would have no motive whatsoever. It's just really ridiculous that people are trying to blame them, Nicole Atkinson, Shanann's parents. It's just ridiculous.
Approximately August 2016 in Erie, Colorado. At that time, Amanda was the director at the Primrose School where Shanann's girls, Bella and Celeste, attended. Amanda got to know Shanann as a parent of the girls. Amanda and Shanann talked every day at drop-offs and pickups. Amanda gave Shanann her telephone number to arrange playdates. Their first playdate was in February 2017, which was attended by Amanda and Shanann, as well as their husbands, Nick Thayer and Chris Watts, hereafter referred to as Nick and Chris, respectively. Their friendship blossomed. They talked every day and hung out 3 out of every 4 weekends. Their girls became close as well. Shanann sold products from home through a company called Lavelle. Lavelle salespeople are known as thrivers. Shanann and Amanda communicated via telephone, text, and in person. They texted daily, and talked on the telephone almost daily. The Thayers previously lived near Shanann in Frederick. In June 2018, Amanda and Shanann talked less since Amanda was busy with work and the move. Amanda started employment at the Goddard School in March 2018. Amanda saw Shanann approximately once per month since moving to Thornton. Chris and Shanann came to the house, and the two families attended movie in the park night in Frederick in June. Throughout the duration of the
And then also Chris was with the Thayers on 4th of July, the day that he was also with Nicole Kessinger.
Interview, Amanda referred to her cell phone to aid in the recollection of dates, times, and context of phone calls, travels, and text messages. Shanann and Chris went to San Diego on the 22nd of June 2018 for the weekend, and came home on the 25th of June 2018. Shanann's dad came to visit on the 28th of June 2018. On approximately the 29th of June 2018, Shanann, the girls, and her dad flew to North Carolina to visit family for 6 weeks. They returned home around the 4th of August 2018 or the 5th of August 2018. Last Thursday, the 10th of August 2018, Shanann traveled to Arizona and got home Monday morning. Amanda stated the last time she saw Chris was on the 4th of July 2018 at the Thornton
See,
Recreation
told ya.
Center for the fireworks show. Amanda went with Nick and her daughter, her brother-in-law and sister-in-law. At that time, Shanann was in North Carolina. Amanda overheard Chris talking to Nick about Shanann trying to FaceTime Chris, but the service wasn't great. Chris was telling Nick he tries to hide if he's having any fun when Shanann's out of town because it upsets her. Chris further stated that if he doesn't answer his phone, like when he's in the shower or working out, Shanann gets upset. Amanda had a telephone conversation with Shanann just before Shanann and the girls left for North Carolina. Shanann told Amanda that she and Chris were very close, like their hands were all over each other. Amanda's brother recently passed away, and Shanann had been comforting her recently. On Thursday, the 9th of August 2018, Amanda texted Shanann to see if she was available for a three-way call to discuss Lavelle business issues. Shanann responded by text saying she was available, then stated, "Sorry for being so distant. A lot is going on personally." Amanda asked if she was okay and if she wanted to talk. Shanann
Guess about
responded,
Chris.
"Way too much to text." Amanda asked Shanann to call her. Amanda and Shanann began a phone conversation on the 9th of August 2018 at 7 a.m.
Friday.
Amanda stated the following about that conversation. The first week Shanann and the girls were in North Carolina, Shanann said her and Chris had a lot of phone sex at that time. Shanann also said there was an incident involving Chris's mother, involving ice cream. All the grandkids were over at the house and the girls wanted ice cream, however, Celeste is allergic.
The Nutgate.
One of the other children got ice cream with peanuts, and Celeste asked for some. When Chris's mom said no, an argument between Shanann and Chris's mom ensued about Shanann coddling Celeste.
I've kind of noticed that all of Shanann's friends have like the same detailed events of Nutgate. With the peanuts and so forth like that. It like never changes. But then when you listen to like Cindy and Ronnie talk about Nutgate, it kind of changes a little bit here and there. It's not like they knew exactly what happened or things are being elaborated to make it seem worse. I just kind of noticed that just now.
And about the treatment of her kids in general. Chris flew to North Carolina to join the family during the last week there. Chris was very distant. He didn't run to her and kiss her at the airport when they picked him up.
So if he's not wanting to kiss her, hug her, hold her, whatever have you, you think that they're gonna have the booty that night that she came home from Arizona? No, that's why I don't believe it for a word that he says.
Chris was not interested in taking pictures together, which was very unusual.
Loser.
At certain times, Chris didn't want to hug her, and told her he didn't want to. Chris was not communicating and Shanann felt lost. While in North Carolina, Celeste had a birthday party. Chris's mother and father didn't show up, and also didn't text Shanann or Chris. Since that time, Chris started to get distant from Shanann. Shanann thought Chris's parents loved the other grandkids more than Celeste and Bella. It was a burden for them to talk to Celeste and Bella. Chris's parents also did not attend Shanann's and Chris's wedding.
Shocker.
Chris told Shanann that Shanann was putting a barrier between Chris and his dad. Chris told Shanann that they were no longer compatible. Chris told her he didn't want the baby, he just wanted it to be the two girls. Chris told her he wasn't sure if he wanted.
That's why I think it's funny is that man is the one that decided to have another child. He thought it would work because he made a presentation like a few years back stating that when you fall out of a relationship, sometimes they think that a child is going to bring them back together. I don't think that's ever happened where it makes things better. I love children, as in my own and so forth like that. But it's like sometimes you just want to be alone with your spouse and you can't do that. And that's where Chris was kind of starting to get a little annoyed, is because he was having to deal with all these kids and now he's going to have to deal with another kid. And he's like, well, I want Nicole to have my kid. And that's pretty much where it started going downhill from there. That but it's like when you're a father, you stay a father for life. And he just thought he could just throw them away like yesterday's trash.
Wanted a third child. Shanann asked Chris why he wanted another child, if he felt that way about her. He said he thought it would fix the relationship.
It didn't.
They were having a lot of sex. Prior to the North Carolina trip, Shanann and Chris were both happy, and Chris was excited about the baby. Chris said he was considering separating from Shanann. Shanann asked Chris to see a therapist, but he refused. Shanann was 100% against separation. Chris wouldn't talk to her. During the conversation, Amanda suggested to Shanann that she and Chris go away for the weekend of the 17th of August 2018.
Good idea.
Amanda offered to watch the kids and the dog. Shanann texted back
I would have been like, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm going with my wife.
on the 9th of August 2018 at 1:15 p.m. and stated, Chris agreed to go away, which I'm in total shock. Sure you don't mind? Friday or Saturday, what day works for you? Amanda was at work so she didn't respond. Shanann texted again at 6:18 p.m, if we left Friday, what time could you be here, after 6 o'clock? Amanda said yes, and Shanann agreed. Amanda stated that was the last text she received from Shanann. Amanda traveled to Kentucky for her brother's funeral. When she arrived there, she texted Shanann on Friday, the 10th of August 2018 at 8 p.m. Amanda asked Shanann if she
So she had her brother's funeral, and then to find out a few days later that her friend has passed.
had found out the sex of the baby.
What the crap?
There was no response from Shanann, which was unusual. Amanda sent a message via Facebook Messenger to mutual friend Cassandra Rosenberg, and told her she hadn't
So Cassandra Rosenberg, I do believe we watched that one already for that interview.
heard from Shanann. Amanda and Rosenberg talked. On Monday, the 13th of August 2018, Amanda and Nick arrived back in Colorado from Kentucky at approximately 2:30 p.m. Amanda had a few messages from friends of Shanann. They were asking if Amanda had heard from Shanann. Amanda texted Shanann at 2:50.
So they just flew in and they're being blamed for some sort of joining in on this murder. Like, what? The ones that they should be looking at is Jim, Chris, and Nicole. And they're looking at the Thayers and Nicole Atkinson and Sandy and Frank Sr. It's like, what are you on? Look at the other three, the trio, the possibly threesome. Like, come on.
57 p.m. Hey lady, we just got back. Let's chat about this weekend. Amanda received a familiar auto reply from Shanann that she used whenever she was driving. Safety first. I'm driving with Do Not Disturb, while driving turned on. I'll see your message when I get where I'm going. The last part of the auto reply had some extra wording that Amanda hadn't seen before, which stated, I'm not receiving notifications. If this is urgent, reply urgent to send a notification through with your original message. Amanda sent one more message to Shanann asking when Shanann was getting back to Colorado, but received no response. Rosenberg called Amanda at 4:09 p.m. on the 13th of August 2018. They talked about Shanann being missing and shared thoughts. At 4:17 p.m. on the 13th of August 2018.
So Chris was using her phone, like we thought, to make it look like Shanann was using her phone with Amanda Thayer and stuff like that, using generic responses. Gosh.
Nicole Utoft called Amanda. Utoft is also a Lavelle thriver. Utoft was upset about Shanann disappearing. Utoft talked to the police. Utoft told Amanda that Shanann's purse, car, phone, and the girls' medications were all at the home. Utoft was aware of the neighbor's security camera which showed Chris backing up his truck and heading to work. Utoft said Chris had stuff in his garage for work. Utoft told Amanda that Chris's story had changed. Chris said Shanann was leaving with the girls for a playdate at 5:30 a.m. Amanda
Who goes on a play date at 5:30 a.m.? Come on.
Stated she could not recall what other story Chris had told. Utoft further told Amanda that Chris told Rosenberg one thing and Utoft another thing. When Amanda and Nick arrived home from their Kentucky trip and were unpacking, they were worried about Chris, so Nick texted Chris. Amanda and Nick decided to go and see Chris. They arrived at Chris's house around 6 or 6:30 p.m. They asked Chris what happened and where was Shanann, what was known and not known. Chris's phone was blowing up. While standing inside the home near the doorway, Chris told Amanda and Nick the following. Chris and Shanann were having problems and were separating. Around 4 a.m. that morning, Chris got up for work, and Shanann got up with him. He wanted to get it out and be done with it. Chris told Shanann he wanted a separation and wanted to sell the house.
He wanted the
They
separation.
had been talking about selling the house for weeks. Amanda stated that Shanann had not told her about that. Chris,
because it's all in Chris's head. Chris is the one that wanted the separation.
Said things are really tight, and they wanted a smaller house because they didn't need all that room. Chris said they got that house because it was like Shanann's house in North Carolina. And it made her happy. When Chris left for work, Shanann was emotional and crying. Chris got a call from Utoft around 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. Utoft had been trying to get a hold of Shanann. Utoft went to the house, but couldn't get in. When Chris got home, Utoft had called the police. He saw Utoft peeking in the windows, trying to get in. Chris opened the door, and Utoft let herself in and started searching the house. Utoft was telling her son where to go and where to look at places in the house. Amanda stated that by that time in the conversation, they had moved into the kitchen. Chris was pacing. Amanda recalled asking him questions about windows and doors, and if they were locked. Chris seemed numb and lost. His face looked like Amanda's when she lost her brother, almost like not believing it. Chris said he noticed a taxi cab charge on his credit card statement which posted on the 13th of August 2018. Amanda asked Utoft, whom Shanann traveled to Arizona with, if she and Shanann took a taxi ride.
A taxi ride? Like a Uber?
Utoft told.
What just happened? Sorry guys, I bumped my keyboard.
Told Amanda she and Shanann took one Lyft ride. Chris mentioned that it was too quiet in the house, he just wanted to hug and hold them, wanted them all to come back.
No, he didn't.
Chris stated, "It's empty here. I need my family back." Chris talked about how bizarre it was that Shanann didn't have her phone with her. Chris, Amanda, and Nick talked about going door to door to ask neighbors questions, but they found out the police were doing that. Amanda and Nick were trying to call people for any information. Chris said he had called the hospitals in the area. Amanda and Nick stayed at Chris's house until approximately 8 p.m. They offered to have Chris stay the night at their home. Chris said he wanted to stay at his house in case they came home, and he wanted to clean up the kids' toys.
Okay.
Chris said, "I want to clean up for them when they come home." Amanda got the impression that Chris thought Shanann left just because she was angry. The next day, the 14th of August 2018, Amanda and Nick were with Chris most of the day. They arrived at Chris's house around 9 a.m. and stayed until approximately 4 p.m. There was a lot of silence during the day. They talked about the news crews.
That'd been awkward.
Some K9s walked through the house, and police were all around. Amanda was spending time on Facebook providing updates. Chris mentioned that his dad was coming to town. Shanann's mother called Chris and was disrespectful to him. Amanda and Nick invited Chris to spend the night at their house, and Chris accepted.
They didn't know.
Amanda and Nick returned home. Chris still had news people at his house. And he waited until they left. In anticipation of Chris coming to the house, the Thayers ordered pizza. 15 or 20 minutes later, Nick told Amanda that Chris was going to get interviewed by the FBI. Amanda and Nick went to the Frederick Police Department at approximately 7:30 p.m., where they waited in the car until approximately 11 p.m., when Chris came out. Chris said he wasn't allowed to go to his house since they were searching it that night and in the morning. Chris followed Amanda and Nick to their house. At the Thayer home, Chris talked about how the interview went. He said one guy interviewed him and was aggressive and accusatory, asking, "What did you do with your wife and children?"
So they were asking him very aggressively. Why were they not asking Nicole aggressively? They're more like nonchalant, kind of like hanging out, chilling out, and so forth like that. But why weren't they being aggressive towards Nicole?
The interviewer then went back to nice talk and being supportive. Chris stated he was asked the same question multiple times in different ways. He was asked about a polygraph and said he would take one. At one point the interviewer left and came back and told Chris to come back in the morning for a polygraph. Amanda, Nick, and Chris all went to.
I wonder if he Googled how to beat a polygraph, because some people do that, where they can like try to manipulate it by breathing differently or holding their breath or whatever have you. And I wouldn't doubt that dude tried to fake the test. I mean, you have to fail by a -4. He was a -18.
Bed. The morning of the 15th of August 2018, Amanda and Nick awoke at approximately 6 a.m. and took their daughter to school. Chris was still upstairs. Chris came down approximately 10 minutes after Amanda and Nick returned. Amanda stated Chris seemed like a lost puppy and was pacing. Chris said he was going to go to work, but his work told him no. Chris was waiting to hear from his mom about his dad's flight. Chris left around 9:30 a.m. to go get his dad from the airport. Chris and Shanann shared their Lexus. They previously had an Explorer, but were currently just using the Lexus and his work truck.
I still think he told his dad in that car, but I could be wrong. Some people agree, some people don't.
Chris worked at an oil company in the oil fields where he does maintenance. Shanann never mentioned anything about their financial situation. Amanda stated Shanann had lots of clothes and had her nails done about every 2 weeks. Shanann never said a word to Amanda about Chris seeing other women. At one point, Shanann speculated about Chris maybe having an affair, but dismissed it because Chris didn't have game. Amanda stated she left a message with a detective about the fact that Shanann always wore her iWatch, which was missing. Amanda stated she would preserve all the phone, text, and calendar data on her phone.
Wonder if Chris took it off because he knew he was being tracked through the watch or whatever have you. Because he took off her ring. Her watch was on the, what's it called? The nightstand. I mean, we found out a little bit of information. I mean, the taxi drive, that was definitely very peculiar on that one. That was charged. Trying to figure out if that could have been used for anything, for like maybe Nicole used the Lyft system to get back home or something. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think about Amanda Thayer's interview. Nick Thayer has an interview. If you want me to look at that one, I can definitely do so. Just comment down below. Of course, your opinions and your thoughts and your inquiries definitely do matter. So I would highly ask you guys to do that in the comments. Don't forget to go over to Footsteps of Murder, and we will see you guys in the next video. Please take care. Be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys in the next one.